Hello everyone. Well, I hope you guys are liking the course that is going so far. Today's topic is gonna be a really interesting one. Why? Because all of you crave speed. Speed is something which excites all of us, and today's topic is how we are gonna increase the speed of working in PowerPoint. All the shortcut keys, all the ways in which your efficiency in PowerPoint will be increased. But before we step onto that, hit the subscribe button, like our channel, like the video, and keep sharing it with all your friends and peers. Let's get started.
We'll be covering some keyboard shortcuts, right? Some of them are pretty basic ones, but they're going to come in handy in PowerPoint, and we'll see how. Firstly, let me explain to you what those shortcuts are, right? So we have Ctrl C for copy, Ctrl V for paste, and Ctrl X for cut, right? We know how these work. These are fairly simple. I select an object, do a Ctrl C, I've copied that object, and now I do a Ctrl V. A copy of that object has been created, right? But if I do a Ctrl X, that object has been cut from that location, and I do a Ctrl V, then that object can come back to that particular slide. So if I do a Ctrl X from here, take it to a slide above and do a Ctrl V, that object will be cut from that particular location, brought to the new location. Right now, an important step is Ctrl Y as to redo a last step. Right. So if I do a Ctrl Z accidentally, right? For example, I'm doing a Ctrl Z, hello world has been taken from the center of screen to the bottom of. I wanted to do that step again. So I do a Ctrl Y in order to redo the last undone step. A very important piece here is it's not repeating a step after me, okay? It's just redoing an undone step. Ctrl Y cannot be done if you have not done an undo to a step, right? And repeating stuff also I'll show you. Ctrl N is for a new file. We've already covered this piece. Ctrl M for a new slide, right? So if I'm standing here and I press Ctrl M, right, a new slide would be created, which will be a copy of the previous slide. So this slide had a title and a click to add title. Here, a new slide has been created. Just the layout, not the object. Okay. So if you see, this is a blank slide. If I do a Ctrl M, right, you will see that a blank slide has been created for me. So Ctrl M is the shortcut for a new slide. Next, you have Ctrl Shift greater than and Ctrl Shift less than sign to increase and decrease font sizes. So long gone are the days when you have to select an object, right? Then go to the font size here and keep on doing a trial of what font size would actually fit or serve your purpose. Easily you can do it using the Ctrl Shift and the greater than and the smaller sign buttons. So you press all of them together. If you press the greater than sign, your size will increase one by one. If you press the less than sign, your size would decrease one by one. Right, so no hit and trial now. You can just easily increase it one by one and see which one is suiting your requirements, and correspondingly decrease it to see which one is actually fitting your slide purposes. Right, and finally we have F4 to repeat the last step. Right, I explained you Ctrl Y, and I'll now explain you F4. Okay, very important guys. Watch the screen carefully. In order to do a Ctrl Z, okay, I've done a Ctrl Z. The size is now increasing and decreasing, so on and so forth, whichever was the last step. Right, I do a Ctrl Y in order to bring it back or to redo the last undone step. Right, but F4 is slightly different. F4 is gonna repeat the last action that you did. Okay, how does that help us? If you see, if I select this and I color this as orange, right? The last step that I've done is I've colored this as orange. Right now, I don't know which color I chose, but I want to repeat that step. All I can do is I can press F4 button. I've not taken my arrow here and selected this button, right? I've just clicked on this one and selected F4. Let's do similar thing for here as well. Select this one and press F4. It's being colored as orange. right? But this is just a very basic explanation of what we can do with F4. Let me show you another important piece, right? I want to create a slide where I want to show a bifurcation of 2 or 3 trains, right? Let me show it to you. Let me create it right away, and you'll see how fast it has become for us to create such a slide. So I insert a circle here, and guys, each time you're inserting a shape, if we want to preserve its dimension, for example, this is a circle, right? You have to press the Shift key in order to retain its dimensions as a circle. If I let go of the Shift key, you will see that it has now become an oval. I can easily stretch it anywhere that I like, right? But as soon as I press the Shift key again, it has become a circle for me. How you create perfect objects. So this is the object that I have created, right? Now all that I do is keep pressing the Control key and drag it to the right. Just watch carefully. Drag it to the right. A copy of that object has been created without Control C and Control P. What I did is I just pressed the Control key and dragged this particular object towards the right. Right. Now, if I have to fill my slides with such circles, do you think I have to copy and paste it again and again? No. Excel is gonna take or repeat my step if I press the F4 button. You see I'm pressing the F4 button continuously, and it's creating those circles well aligned for me. Right? Now, I do a Control A to select all of these objects, and again I press the Control key and drag them above. Here this time. Right? Now again I press the F4 key, and those objects will be created for me for the entire slide. How easy was that, guys? I filled my slide with circles. Now, as a trend, as a percentage trend, if I have to show, and maybe I leave some place for the text items to be there, what I can do is I can select certain shapes, right? Probably till here. Right? And I can give this one as a color of gray. Right? How does this help me? It shows me that more than 50% of the items are actually depicting something, and less than 50% are depicting something else. Right? Just to enhance this slide, what I can do is created a copy of it, creating another copy. Right? This is another copy. I can add texts here to see, right? This can be a result of a poll, guys. Imagine if you're taking a survey, this can be the results of that survey. Right? Gray means no, yellow means, blue means yes. And I can even insert the question here. Right? The question can be as simple as how many people prefer pizza to burger. Right? Now I have to reduce the size of this piece, right? I have to reduce the size of this text. What is the shortcut? The shortcut is Ctrl Shift less than sign. Right? So with Ctrl Shift less than, I can reduce the size of this question, or I can increase the size with respect to the slide, and then I can say which one actually suits me the best. This was the question. I can add a background image and so on. We'll see how we create a slide, right? But this is how my slide looks like now. How many people prefer pizza to burger? So F4 key is very efficient if you want to repeat a particular step, right? If you want to create an object in the same fashion, in the same alignment zone, you can do that using the F4 key.